All right, y'all, what's good? It's your boy 50K Clay back here, tapped into yet another video, man. And before we get into the topic at hand, make sure y'all please like, comment, and subscribe. We are almost at our first 1,000 subscribers, and I know we're gonna keep growing from here. So I please ask y'all to subscribe, man. It really helps us grow, and I really appreciate it personally. Let's get to the topic at hand, man. As y'all saw from the title of this video, why artists are scared to drop in this modern age, as exemplified by somebody like ASAP Rocky, man. And this has been a topic that's been on my mind heavily, as I'm a big fan of hip hop. I'm really tapped into the culture and what's going on, and sometimes I be anxious about some of my favorite artists dropping, and I think so do they. I feel like a lot of artists, they feel the pressure of the social media opinions. What are they gonna think? Are they gonna like this? Oh man, they clowning me in academics comments. So that makes them really, really insecure and afraid to drop and afraid to experiment. So even if you do got some new ideas that you want to get off and you switching up your sound a little bit, you like, all right, I mean, I don't want to alienate my previous audience. I want to, I just want to be cookie cutter. I just want to stick to what's popular right now, what's getting me going right now. Or sometimes artists entirely get scared and just be like, they'll test the waters. Let's say ASAP Rocky, for example. He'll test the waters. He'll put out a single or two, but he's been doing that since like 2020, bro. For me, it's like, man, you got to put up or shut up.
It's so easy to design your own handcuffs, lock yourself up and put the key over there that just turns into pressure, whether it's from you or fans X, Y, and Z. And then people end up scared and not putting albums out for 15 years because they feel like they always have to, I got to make the most innovative, best stuff. I got to And sometimes, man, that song is good. Just put that bitch out.
And I know ASAP Rocky is a talented artist. I think everybody knows that. A lot of people are mad at him right now, and some think it's because he's like he's done anything wrong. But no, I think people are really just excited to hear new music. They're excited, they're anticipating new music. And when you basically blue ball us and drop a single here or two to kind of get the feedback, and it doesn't go as well, of course it's not gonna go as well for you, because people are tired of the long game. They've been anticipating this album for so long now that it's like almost just people are past it. People are beyond it, especially in this music thing where you can be hot one day and people are already on to the next thing the next day. It's a lot of releases in hip hop. The landscape is simply not the same as it was back in 2016, 2018, 2012, especially when Rocky first debuted, 2011. Um, so you have to be willing to accept that and embrace it and channel it, through your music, and not let the fear of potential persecution or what they gonna say hold you back from releasing a really good project. And I feel like that's been the case with bro. It's like you can tell he still has a passion for the music. He just starred alongside Denzel Washington in this movie called Highest to Lowest. I haven't seen the film yet, but I'm gonna definitely get to it. And for that album, for the soundtrack of the album, he dropped two songs. And they were really, really dope songs. Make sure y'all go check them out, by the way, and check out the movie as well. We want to support black artists and entrepreneurs and black directors specifically, so the industry knows that it's a market for these type of movies, for movies specifically starring black people. So make sure y'all go watch those movies. But with ASAP Rocky, he, like I said, he dropped two songs in them and they were really, really good. So I think the passion for the music is still there. I think in his own time, he just gets in his head a lot. It's natural. We're all humans. He probably sees the comments himself, and also, on top of that, he's become really content with being a father, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. A lot of people are online. Even Drake clowned him in the midst of the Kendrick the Kendrick beef, the him and Kendrick beef, saying you should have modeled because it's mid again, this, that, and the third. I don't think he really gave a fuck about that. ASAP Rocky, personally. I mean, you got one of the baddest women in the world. You're not really fucked up about what a nigga gotta say, man. I got kids with her. You wanted her super bad. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. I don't think he's really discouraged by Drake, but I think he really is just content being a father and expressing himself through other mediums. But the passion for the music is still there, and I feel like with bro, he just has to double down on it. Also, it's been a thing with ASAP Rocky where apparently like he has a death in the family after every drop, so it makes him also more skeptical to drop anyway. Maybe he's skeptical to release this album out of fear maybe something happens to his family again and the cycle and the tradition continues. So I hope that's not the case. Whenever I believe he will inevitably drop it, he has to. But or maybe it'll be like a Dr. Dre situation where he literally never drops it. I feel like he's too artistic and too creative to just let this moment pass. So I doubt he's watching, bro. But if you are, maybe, but you never know. But if you are, bro, you just got to take it upon yourself to not really give a fuck what people got to say. And I really liked his last album, even, the concept behind it. It was called testing. He was testing new sounds. He was testing new theories. He was testing new ideas. And he even did this pop up installation where, you saw him kind of experimenting with certain things. And it was like an art piece. People would come in and watch him paint or do whatever. I'm going to put that on screen as well. So he did this thing, and it just really represented the creativity, the innate creativity inside this person. So I just hope that he doesn't let this situation discourage him from being the artist that he wants to be. And even if you have bad sales, even if you do technically flop, if he does technically flop, well, fuck it, bro. Who cares about the numbers, man? Fuck what all these people gotta say, bro. It's your art. You gotta release it. And I think that should go for every single creative. I'm not doing crazy numbers. My last video only got 100 views. But I'm not gonna let that discourage me from making the next one. I don't hold myself to these numbers. You know what I'm saying? These numbers don't make me, they don't define me, they don't define my character. I am who I am. Even if I got 0 views, even if I got 0 likes on Instagram, I don't personally care because I feel like I got a duty, and so do you, ASAP Rocky. And ASAP Rocky not the only one. Let's not forget, Playboy Cardi was scared to drop for a long ass time. And I believe when he finally did, I believe that's why the track list was so long. Not because he's just trying to give the fans everything that he's been working on. No, it's because he's like, all right, I'm gonna put out this, and maybe two things can be true at the same time. He's like, all right, I'm gonna put out all of these songs. He's like, I'm gonna put out all of these songs, and hopefully they gravitate to a couple of. It's 30 songs on the album, so I'm gonna just drop them and hopefully they fuck with some of, And I feel like that's a lot of what kind of stuff is right now in the game right now, in the hip hop game right now. Like people are chasing streaming numbers and not actually tracing the development of the art form, or pushing boundaries, or they just trying to chase these numbers. And I know it's incentivized by the record label, but bro, and it really be pissing me off because you got 30 plus songs on the track list, bro. What are you talking about for 30 songs? You do not have enough subject matter to cover 30 songs on one album, bro. You just don't. You don't even have enough beats to cover 30 songs on an album, bro. So let's stop it, bro. Let's do an easy 15, drop an EP, do 7, and we can keep it pushing, bro. But I feel like artists are so concerned about the numbers nowadays that it really hinders and limits the art form itself. If you can get a point across in 15 songs, then you did a good job. In 10 songs, then you did a good job. 12, then you did a really good job of making a really well-rounded, cohesive album where you didn't need any fluff or filler to get your point across, to get your message through. But we got to be mindful that every artist is just gonna have a message, and that's okay too. But we just saw Gunna drop a 30-song plus album, and it didn't even reach 100K in sales with all the hype and all the promotion that he's been getting lately. It still didn't crack 100,000 plus sales in his first week. So, but another artist that's really kind of exemplifying this is Roddy Ricch, man. Roddy Ricch, his come up was legendary. It's like he kind of exploded onto the scene. Maybe it was too fast for his own good, but now he's kind of at the point where he knows it's basically put up or shut up. you know. And even you think about it, Cardi B, Chance the Rapper. I really commend Chance the Rapper for dropping his most recent album, and it looks like Cardi B is gearing up to do the same. But those are two artists that were for various different reasons, for two different reasons between the both of them, is like they were essentially for various reasons they were scared to drop. In the case of Chance, his album before this one was like heavily panned and criticized and stuff like that. So I think that made him kind of be on like this ASAP Rocky flow of dropping singles every now and then, trying to get a feel for what the audience might potentially like. Um, but but you just gotta be, bro. You gotta take it upon your, bro. You gotta take it upon yourself as an artist to not really care what people think, and just go in there and be content with the idea that, all right, I left it all on the floor. I really gave my best effort to this album, and if people like it, great. But if they don't, that's cool too. I accept that, because everybody's not gonna like everything that you do. I liked. I'm really deep into this Chance the Rapper project. I'm probably like 10 or 12 songs in, and I'm really feeling it, but I'm seeing mixed reactions on Reddit. But you can't really hold yourself to the standards of other people. If you know you went in there and you really tried, and you really tried to give us the best album that you possibly can, you just got to live with the results, bro. That's how I think. And and I recently saw a clip from Tyler the Creator's interview with Zane Lowe, where he was talking about the same thing, where he said sometimes artists can be too, I don't know, like personal with their works. Like they'll be afraid to drop it, and a lot of people were saying that he was specifically talking about ASAP Rocky when he was doing it, um, which would be kind of weird because I know they are friends, but that will also let me know that he's really had some talks with Rocky. Like he's really been in communication with Rocky, and that's kind of, he's talking about the perspective that Rocky's coming from. That he's kind of a little bit afraid, a little bit nervous to put himself out there in a level of vulnerability. Maybe it won't be perceived as well as its older works, So ASAP Rocky might be skeptical, and I think that's kind of what Tyler the Creator was hitting on. But Tyler the Creator recently dropped an album where he dropped it recently. Wasn't hardly no promo, wasn't hardly no reactions. And his interviews, he was talking about, yeah, I just put it out there. I didn't want to be cutesy about it. I didn't want to hold on to it for too long and make me start thinking about it too much. I'm just gonna put it out there. I know I did a really good job on it. I like it. It's experimental. It's dope for me. And I think a lot of artists should really watch his interviews and take what they can from that. Cause he really had a good perspective on not really caring about what people think.
Like,
Bro, it's
give me
freedom,
space.
bro. I didn't have to put this album out.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be precious. I didn't want to spend 3 years and try to be super innovative and like, okay, I gotta put this album out and make sure this cover comes out at the same time and do this marketing so we get the numbers and we get the perception and this and that. Bro, I made an album. I was done. Bro, if it wasn't for Kelly and Clancy, bro, I wouldn't have did shit. I was just gonna upload that motherfucker the moment it was done and continue moving on with my life because I just wanted it out.
Allowing yourself to be yourself, and the music gonna speak for itself because it is art. Let the music speak for itself. But even in the case of Cardi B, I think she was on the opposite end of Chance the Rapper in this regard, in that she saw so much success with her last album, with her previous project. Now it's gonna be really difficult to hold up to the standards that she presented on her last work. So now she's kind of skeptical and pump faker herself about whether or not she's gonna drop, or she's definitely released a lot of singles. Like she dropped that song with Meg Thee Stallion all those years ago, and they saying that's still gonna be on the album. So I think people with rappers specifically and artists in general, they get super caught up in caring what people think, and they get in their heads about the criticism that they might be faced with. They get, nowadays people are, I think Jid had a recent line about this on his album. I'm going to put it right here. So he's talking about basically how the consumers of music used to just consume music, and nowadays they're analyzing the numbers and the metrics and how many streams this got on Spotify this first day. People have become more numbers oriented than music oriented, and I think that's kind of crazy. And I think Jid's line alludes to that. Like I said, artists specifically, I know they get in their head, but also I think, yeah, I think these people have real life. I know Cardi B has several children from her first album to her forthcoming album coming out. She's just grown so much as a person. I'm sure rap doesn't become your primary focus anymore. It becomes taking care of these kids, you know, and that's completely understandable. And I'm rooting for the artists to do that, but at the same time, I don't want that to, become an excuse why they haven't dropped. Hey, don't let that be an excuse. Don't let that get you caught up in all that kind of stuff. And I know the responsibility and the pressure that comes with being a parent. But at the same time, I feel like people can use that as an excuse to not be as proactive as they wanted to be. And I just say that to anybody: don't let that hold you back. Don't let anything hold you back from expressing yourself and being vulnerable in the way that you want to be vulnerable in whatever way you see fit, be it through music, be it through art, whatever form of self expression helps you to be able to release, then I feel like you should go forth and do that, man. But anyway, this is your boy 50K Clay. I am Clay Will on Instagram. My page is deactivated right now, but who knows? By the time I post this video, it might be active again. So thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate the love on my previous videos. Like I said, I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. So if y'all could get me there, then I would really appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for watching. We out. We out.